Okay, good day, dear colleagues. For your attention, we present a report on the topic Peculiarities of Organizing the Workspace using Machine Learning Methods. The workspace is where people spend a large part of their day. Yes, you can often hear complaints about how difficult it is to cope with the tasks and how much time and nerves it takes to look for something on the table or in drawers. You can hear standard answers to this. It's fatigue, the need to rest, and the necessity to change the environment, work, and others. At the same time, the reason may be on the surface and consist in the fact that your irritation may be caused by banal clutter or environment organization of the workspaces. The conducted analysis showed that with all the variety of systems, there are currently no software applications that are focused on the workspace organization. And this is not surprising, since these tasks belong to the process of pattern recognition, namely their identification and threat representation, taking into account ergonomic features. To date, the optimal recognition algorithms has not been developed. There are several leading libraries that manage to recognize images on the pictures, search for identical individuals on the network. However, the goal of finding the location of the object or its identification was not achieved. Existing object recognition technology like Reface, TensorFlow, OpenCV achieved high results, but insufficient for the implementation of everyday tasks with the use of insignificant hardware resources. In this regard, it's necessary to improve object recognition algorithms and existing machine learning methods. As for this subject area, the application of machine learning methods will be carried to create a recommender system. The purpose of the research is design and implementation of the organizing workspace system using machine learning methods. To achieve the goal of the following main task must be solved: analyze the existing approaches, methods, and software tools used in the field of organizing the workspace, to determine the main tasks that arise at the same time, carry out a systematic analysis of the subject area, conduct a mathematical description of the subject area using the algorithm, design the software system using the object-oriented approach, and display the created diagrams in accordance with the UML language notation, to develop a software system of organizing the workspace using machine learning methods. The result of the research solve the actual scientific and practical task for creating a methodological approach and software for solving the task of organizing the workspace. At the initial stage of creating a system, it is necessary to carry out a system analysis, which is a sequence of action to establish structural connections between the elements of the studied system. For this, it's necessary to achieve goals. It's created to analyze a problematic situation and visualize its results. It consists of a general goal, the top of the tree, which shows what needs to be achieved, and sub-goals, the fulfillment of which will allow the main goal to be achieved. The general goal is creating a system for organizing the workspace. Sub-goals have been defined to achieve the general goal. Further research was aimed at building models of system functionality, functioning using the algebra algorithm apparatus. The first stage of the implementation of the algebra algorithm was the description of unit terms and synthesis of sequences, which is given below. After substituting the eliminations, the general formula will look like in slide. The next stage is a substitution of the corresponding sequences in the elimination. As a result of using the properties of the algebra algorithm, we subtract the common unit terms by the sign of the elimination operation and obtain the following formula of the algebra algorithm. The next stage of the research was the design of the system using an object-oriented approach. Namely, at the beginning of the design, diagram of use cases was created, made in visual paradigm software environment. The diagram defines two main actors, the user and the administrator, which are connected by a generalization relationship. This is all the actions that the user can perform, as well as some additional ones defined by the corresponding role will be available. Next, according to the concept of object-oriented design, a class diagram will be constructed. The class diagram is the basis of any software project documentation, and without its implementation for the correct construction is impossible. It allows you to formalize the logical model of the program at the level of the structure elements of the system and provides a static representation of the structure of the program. In order to display the features of the interaction between individual objects, a sequence diagram was constructed. It shows three system objects, user, system, and database. After logging into the user system, the user begins to go through the main flow in the system, passing the test, scanning the space, scanning objects, and receiving recommendations. The development of any system cannot be complete without the choice of method. Solving the task. After the analysis of literal resources, a decision was made to use the pattern recognition method in tandem with the recommendation engine to cover the user needs. The basis of the development system is recommendation engine based on the content-based filtering method. The method is chosen because such a model does not require any extraneous data, and recommendations are specified to a particular user. At the same time, the model can cover the specific interest of the user and recommended each items for the interest him. The next stage was the design of the system, which based on the analysis, which was designed to be implemented in the form of client-server system, while the client part was implemented in the form of a mobile application running under the control of the Android operating system. In order to integrate the pattern recognition method in the system, ready-made Python libraries were used, namely CRAP is a flexible, fast recommendation engine for Python, which integrates class recommendation algorithms and information filtering into ready-made NumPy, Scipy, and Matplotlib packages. The developed prototype of the application is presented in next slides. After clicking on the middle icon, you can proceed to the first step, which is to pass the test, after completing of which you can see a screen where the system congratulates you for passing, and there are two options. Okay, the first one is take the test again by clicking take a test again, and continue by clicking next. After clicking the next button, the user goes to the next step, namely space scanning. After clicking on Let's Scan, the system goes into scanning mode, covering the area of space. After selecting the next button, the user goes to the third step, namely scanning objects. After scanning, there are two buttons, save, let's save the item, and retake, repeat the scan. In this way, element-by-element scanning of all objects is carried out. Next, the entered data is processed. After all data has been processed, the system displays possible options for placing objects in space. As a result of the conducted research, the existing methods and known systems that provide tools for organizing their workspace were analyzed. The next stage of the work was a systematic analysis of the subject area with the formation of the section goals and their presentation in the form of the goal tree. Next, mathematical description of the subject area was given using the apparatus of the algebra of algorithms, which provided the necessary background for the formation of mathematical support. Object-oriented design of the software system was carried out by constructing a set of diagrams in UML notation, some of which use case diagrams, classes, and sequences are presented in the work. Based on the conducted research, the system was designed and implemented in Andrii Studio. The created software project works in a prototype mode and implements the described functionality. Further research will be directed to the verification and approval of the obtained results and expansion for the functionality. Thank you.